Hello and welcome to Matrix Live. Today my guests are Justin Carlson, software engineer, and Hopshot, tech lead for the Bridges, both of them working in the integrations team at Element. So guys, let's start by showcasing your work. Today we're going to talk about the new fancy setup widget for the Slack bridge. Can we see it in practice?
Yes, let's take a look. Okay. So you should be able to see a room with
Yes.
a widget added and the bots invited. So this is just added to the room like any typical widget. And I go over and open, and you can see our new UI for setting up Slack to link Slack channel to your Matrix room. Need to add it to Slack here and just authorize with my workspace, and you can see we've got that workspace. To link the channel, just select the workspace, the channel I want to link, and there we have it. And pretty much simple as that. It's a UI to interact with the bridge from right in your room.
It's so pretty.
All right, very good. So we can see the demo shows it for Slack. Does it work with other platforms? Like, can we expect that for IRC bridging or bridging with Discord or whatever?
Yeah, good question. So at the moment, we have it for Slack and IRC, and I can show you an IRC demo right now as well. Nice. So you should be able to see, same thing, just a widget in the room, and I've got the bot invited. And in this case, it's a different UI to link an IRC channel. And so I'm entering the channel. You need to select an operator in the room to approve the link. So you request link, they'll get a message from the bot. And then once they've responded to the bot approving the link, you can see it showed up there as a link channel. And so same thing, it's a UI for interacting with the bridge from right there in your room.
All right, very good. So that's a huge improvement over a lot of the things we have seen when it comes to setting up bridges, because sometimes as an end user, it can seem very arcane to type weird commands to get the bridge to work. But it rings a bell. When I first tried to bridge something with Slack, I had a matrix.org account, and it was a bit different than when I had deployed my own Slack bridge. Will this widget work with any deployment of the bridge, or is it something only for matrix.org?
Yeah, so this widget is hosted by the bridge itself. So as long as you have the latest version with the widget, you've enabled it in your config, this will be available on any deployment.
Right, and that one thing we see on the right is called an integrations manager, I believe. Can you tell us a bit more about what an integration manager is?
Yeah, so kind of broadly speaking, integration manager is a UI inside of your client that helps with setting up integrations. So this can mean adding widgets to the room, inviting bot users, setting power levels, and that sort of thing. But actually, in this case, the widget UI can be used independently. You could see in those demos, it was actually just a widget right in the room.
It's a huge change from what we previously were doing, because it means that the widgets, the first time ever, open sourced. So previously we had these widgets existing in the old Scale UI, and they were completely closed sourced. So the change we're making here is now anyone in the community can not only use these on their own deployments, but they can crucially make changes to them. So if you're doing a feature for the Slack bridge, you haven't got to sort of make the backend command staff in and ping us and go, hey, can you make the UI for us? Like, you can do it all at home. So it's a huge, massive improvement for UX, both for users, but also developers.
Yeah.
So what you're telling me is that I don't need to have an integration manager to have this widget. I can very simply add it to the room and then use the widget to configure the bridge without having to type commands to it. But sometimes it can make sense for people to host their own integration manager. Does it make sense for everybody to have an integration manager when they have their own home server?
So with a self-hosted server, you can still use the integration manager we provide from Element. If you want to access the integrations that we provide Historically, there has been one example of an open source integration manager called Matrix Dimension. It's not maintained anymore. I think in the long run, we would like to make this something a little easier to implement because historically it's been quite complex. But like I mentioned, with the setup widgets, at least you get that UI. You do have to add the widget yourself, but beyond that, you still have the UI.
It's worth saying that we've been doing this work for Hookshot for a few months now, so this work has sort of been tested in the community before, and the feedback has been overwhelmingly, amazingly positive. Everyone's been really pleased to have the UI and be able to touch it and just get started. So we think that this will be great for self-hosters, and yeah, kind of hoping there'll be more integration managers turning up that can reuse the work.
Yeah, I need to congratulate you for that, both for making it happen in Hookshot and for dodging entirely a Matrix Live about this topic. So congratulations. Do you have other plans for that widget or for other bridges that are going to gain those functionalities?
Yeah, so I think we're hoping to bring setup widgets like these to as many bridges and integrations as we can. Part of that being pulling some common functionality into a package, which will make this a bit easier to replicate. I guess I'd just say, as far as integration managers, we have some big developments forthcoming from Element, so keep an eye out for that. Yeah, but I think we're just quite proud of this, helping to make the Matrix ecosystem a little bit more accessible to everyone.
Yeah, I truly think this is a step change really in how we're doing integrations in UX in bridges. For years we've been relying on bot commands and admins typing in special incantations. This is like, now you won't need to be typing in commands, you are just pressing buttons again. And it's like, in an open source environment, it's unprecedented to have this much amount of sort of control over your bridges through clicking of stuff. So I'm tremendously excited this work is happening. It's really cool. And yeah, look for your Element client to see what changes in the next few weeks. It's gonna be really, really cool stuff.
You're really good at teasing. As somebody who is trying to outreach to communities and to onboard communities on Matrix, I'm particularly excited that things are going to be a bit less nerdy and more for general people. Beyond that, I'm going to conclude the episode by reminding the audience that the foundation still needs your support. If you're an individual and want us to keep working on these nice projects, please consider donating to the matrix.org Foundation. You can go to matrix.org and you will find a support section. I'm leaving a link to the donor box in the description as well. And if you're an organization relying on Matrix commercially or more broadly for your work, please, 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 please donate to the matrix.org Foundation to contribute to the health of the Matrix ecosystem. If you're interested as an organization to contribute to Matrix, please send us an email to funding@matrix.org and we will get back to you. In the meantime, take care everyone, and I'll see you next week.
Catch you later. Bye.